Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to start with our new unit, that is unit number 2, and chapter is 2.1 on textbook page number 22. Page number 22, and the name of the poem is From a Railway Carriage, written by the poet is R.L. Stevenson. Now, this is a poem written by Robert Louis Stevenson, in which he shares his experience of a railway journey with us. Okay, so I'll give a short summary about this this poem. Here, R.L. Stevenson describes the scene he sees through the window of a fast moving train. He is so amazed at the speed of the train and tries to grasp every glimpse he sees, because they are out of sight. The very next moment, the train moves with such a great speed that everything he sees seems to be moving. First, I'll read out the full poem, then I'll give the explanation through one paragraph. Okay. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and carrying along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horse and the cattle. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clamber and scramble all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. On page number 23, here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone for ever. The name of the poet is Robert Louis Stevenson. So, as I said first only, now here the poet is describing his journey. He is sharing his experience of railway journey with us. So, let us start with the first stanza. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. Now, here the poet is telling that the train runs faster than magical creatures such as fairies and witches. Now, faster than fairies and faster than witches. Fairies means who? A small imaginary being of human form that has magical powers. Okay, especially good ones. Okay. Now, witches. Witches means what? So, witches means what? Witches means here a woman which here a woman who have magical powers, especially for evil ones. Okay, here we had seen fairies also. The meaning of fairy is what? A small imaginary being of human form that has magical power, especially for good ones. And witches is what? Here she is also a woman, she also have a magical power, but it is for evil ones means bad one. Okay, so here the poet is telling that the train runs faster than magical creatures such as fairies and witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and carrying along like troops in a battle. Now, what the poet is telling? Poet is telling that the train runs faster than magical creatures such as fairies and witches. He sees bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. When the train is moving from the window, he is seeing all this thing, that is bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. And what do you mean by bridges? You know, houses, you know. What do you mean by hedges? Hedges means a fence or a boundary formed by closely growing bushes or shrubs. And ditch means a narrow channel dug at the side of a road or field to hold or carry away water. Okay. And charging along like a troop in a battle, all through the meadows, the horse and the cattle. So he's telling, when I am seeing outside the window, I can see what? I can see bridges, houses, hedges and ditches. And he says that the horse and the cattle in the meadows seems to rush away as if they were soldiers on the battlefield. He is telling, when I am seeing outside, I can see what? I can see the horses and cattle who are in the meadows. Meadow means in the field. Okay, like a troop in a battle. That these horses and cattle are looking like a troops in a battle. What do you mean by troops? Troops means a group of soldiers, like a as if they are soldiers on a battlefield. Okay, I hope you have understood the first stanza. Let us start with the second stanza. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain. Now what the poet is telling? Poet is telling, the train passes hills and plains. The side there fly away as thick as a heavy rain. Okay, when the train is passing, the train is passing from hill and plain, and this hill and plains are flying like a thick as driving rain. Okay, and never again in the wink of an eye painted station whistles by. So what he is saying, now and again painted stations pass by even before one can wink. Okay, the painted stations are also going fastly. As the train passes this station, the whistle of the engine is heard. When the train passes these stations, the whistles of the engines are heard. Okay. Now, wink of an eye. Wink of an eye is one of the phrase. And what is the meaning of it? Wink of an eye? Very quickly. Okay. Let us see the third stanza. Here is a child who clamber and scramble all by himself and gathering the bamble. Now, what he is telling, the poet suddenly once see a child when the train is running. When the train is running at that time, the poet is seeing a child all by himself, climbing with difficulty and gathering bushes with blackberries. Okay, climbers. What do you mean by climbers? Climb or move in an awkward way using both hands and feet. Okay, climbers means what? Climb or move in an awkward way using both hands and feet. And what do you mean by scramble? Make one's way quickly over rough ground by using one hand as a feet. Okay, scramble means to move or climb quickly but with difficulty, often using your hands to help you. So that is scramble. So all by himself and gathering bambles. So what he is telling, suddenly the poet sees the child, he is trying to climb with difficulties and gathering the brambles. Brambles means what? Here, blueberries. Now here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. Now then one might see a jobless person standing and gazing. What he is telling, the poet is telling, he can see he is a tramp who stands and gaze. What he is telling, tramp. What do you mean by tramp? Tramp is a person who travels from one place to another on foot in search of work, or a homeless person. A person with no home, job or money, but who travels around and asks for money from other people. Okay. So he is telling, the poet is telling, I can see what? I can see one might see a jobless person standing and gazing. He is standing and gazing. Okay. This will be followed by green grass which children use to string daisies. So what he is telling, he is standing over there, standing and gazing. Who? The tramp. And who is followed by whom? Followed by the children who are gathering what? Who are gathering the daisies to make a string. Okay, daisy is a small flower with white petals and a yellow center, which often grows in the grass. Okay, now see the last stanza. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river. Each a glimpse had gone forever. Now, what he is telling, the poet is telling in the last stanza. Suddenly the poet sees what? Sees the cart running away in the road. Okay, moving in jerks as it carries man and load, lumping along with man and road. What do you mean by lumping? Lumping means moving with jerks. Okay, so here poet is telling that he can see a cart which is running on the road, and in that cart there is what? Man and load, and it is moving with a jerk. And here is a mill and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Then he spots a mill followed by a river. Each sight is seen for a very short time and that is gone forever. Now, whatever he had seen, that has seen for what? Very short time. And once it has been seen, it has gone forever. Okay. What do you mean by glimpse? Glimpse means something that you see for a very short time. Okay. So here we have end with this poem. I hope you all have understood this poem. So thank you and have a nice day.